Hello, I'm Greg. I'm a sailor, a bagpiper, and an all-around jack of all trades. Excuse me. Happy New Year. Today's January 1st. Here in the Boston area, we're having a little bit of a warm spell. It's almost 54 degrees outside today, and it's supposed to be nice again tomorrow. So I'm going to strip the cover off the boat and see what I can do about drilling out the bungs on the port tow rail, and hopefully get it all unbolted and removed today and tomorrow, so I can bring that down to the shop and work on that this winter. So I think, as we've talked about before, removing the tow rail is interesting. As we can see from the tow rail, well, there's a bung, there's another bung up there, there's a bung here. So there are all of these bolts that bolt the tow rail down to the deck. Now, unfortunately, the deck itself, as I talked about, this is the deck, here's the hull. The hull comes up, goes over, and there's a flange. And then this deck is bedded and bolts onto the flange. So there's a bolt here. This is all the caulking that needs to be replaced. There's another bolt. So, from down below, there are multiple nuts and bolts. Some of them are the nut and bolt that bolt the deck to the hull. Some of them, like you see that hole there, was the bolt that bolts the tow rail through the deck, through the hull. So from down below, all you see are lots of washers and nuts. And then as we come farther aft, here is the jib sheet track, and again, that's bolted. So from down below, there are so many nuts and bolts that are just very hard to determine which one is which. So right now, my goal is to just drill out all the bungs and get this cleaned up. Hopefully, have a friend stop by tomorrow. He can be up on deck with a screwdriver. I'll be down below with my wrench and socket set, and undo the nuts and hopefully determine which one is the one that, unbolts the tow rail, so I don't have to remove all the nuts and bolts that bolt the deck to the hull. So let's see what we can get done today, and I found the easiest way is to just sort of get a drill bit that's slightly smaller than the bung, drill the bung out, and then chip out the remaining pieces of it. There are a couple that didn't work out really well on the other side, and I may have to just drill those out a little bit bigger and make a slightly larger bung. But we'll see when we get to the reinstallation process. So, off we go. Well, a little interesting thing that I've discovered here. It appears they had to replace this forward section of tow rail because there's a scarf joint right here. And on the starboard side, it was just one long piece. So you can see that getting the bungs out and clearing out the screw heads to make it easier to remove them is important. I just got a new carbide blade for my scraper, which makes it so much easier to just scrape off the old finish and to be able to see where the bungs are. Some of them are extremely visible, others, like that one, was not so much. So anyway, I will keep at it and keep drilling these out. I've done all I can do by myself. I've drilled out all the bungs on the tow rail. What I was not able to drill out, or which bungs I was not able to pull, were all of the bungs that are underneath the jib track. And I'm going to need somebody to be up on deck with a screwdriver while I'm down below taking off the nuts and bolts so that we can pull the jib track. Then we'll have to drill out the bungs in the tow rail and pull those nuts and bolts and then get the tow rail out. So I have discovered that this stern piece, I pulled all the bungs, but since the hull is angled in so steeply, there was no way to get nuts and bolts up under there. So those are just screws that just screw right through the fiberglass. So I'm going to try to pull those off and see if I can get this stern piece out. And then, well, maybe pull the cleats, pull the rest of these deck fittings, since it is only 1:30 and still got daylight, although it's starting to get a little cloudy. But got a little daylight left, so I'll keep working until it gets dark and then make a few phone calls and see who I can rope into helping me tomorrow. Okay, well, I think I'm calling it a day. Let's see. I have got the stern piece of tow rail off. I have removed most of the swim ladder brackets, pulled a couple of bolts out of here, got this cleat off, and basically I'm running out of steam. So now I've got to go in and see if I can track down a buddy to help me tomorrow, and that'll just make it easier to pull all the rest of the bolts and get all the rest of the port tow rail off. I really would love to get that done tomorrow so that I have all the tow rails down down in my shop, because I would like to get at least the exterior of the boat done this year. Refinishing all of the woodwork that's on the outside of the boat, and reinstalling it all and getting the boat watertight from the outside. And then next winter I can, finish working on the interior and everything down below. But at least to get the exterior of the hull cleaned up and watertight would be a big step in the right direction. So my friend Jim came by today, and we managed to get the port side tow rail completely off the boat. This process went a little bit faster than the starboard side, and I did not film, and I'm not completely sure why. But that's beside the point. We've got the tow rail off. All the tow rails are now down in the shop, and the next video is going to show me beginning the process of starting to strip off all of the old finish and prep them for new finish. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. Please hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed it, and hit the subscribe or thumbs up, thumbs up or like. Hit those if you enjoyed this. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps my channel a little bit. And please subscribe so you'll get informed when the next video comes out. Happy New Year, and thank you very much.